Hey, I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
In October 2019, Arlington, Texas was chosen to be the home of a new national museum, unlike any other. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a unique home of military history. The 100,000 square foot museum will house exhibits, archives, and artifacts relating to the 3,500 U.S. troops who have been awarded the medal, the nation's highest honor for valor in combat. The museum will have 31,000 square feet of galleries dedicated to U.S. troops who have received the award. The museum CEO, former Navy SEAL and NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy, said the museum will focus on education as much as preservation. The building will have 5 areas dedicated to Medal of Honor winners from the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. The main gallery will be located in a central plaza under a 25,000 square foot slab of steel, which will appear to be suspended in midair. It will be supported by 5 pillars. Black Rifle Coffee is a corporate sponsor of the museum, as are the Dallas Cowboys. The museum's board also includes over a dozen major corporations and 6 Medal of Honor recipients, including David Bellavia, Patrick Brady, and Britt Slabinski. Army Staff Sergeant Bellavia was awarded the medal for clearing an entire house by himself on November 10, 2004, as a squad leader in support of Operation Phantom Fury in Fallujah, Iraq. He killed 4 enemy fighters and wounded a 5th in close quarters battle. Army Major General Brady flew and coordinated the evacuation of 51 seriously wounded men during a firefight in Vietnam in January 1968. Slabinski, a Navy SEAL chief and team leader, led a rescue team of SEALs during Operation Anaconda in Afghanistan in March 2002. Slabinski and his team flew to a mountaintop ambush site to rescue Petty Officer First Class Neil Roberts, who had fallen from the back of a helicopter. Slabinski led the team through almost constant combat against an entrenched Taliban force. Along with the board members, former presidents Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama serve as honorary directors. The museum is expected to open to the public in late 2024.
All right. Welcome back. MisFitNation. We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their story to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with MisFitNation. If you're a musician or actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share some of your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you're a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and share how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you're a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and just share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or are embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you're a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast apps and also on our YouTube channel at @_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date with our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show. All right. Welcome to show number 4 of our Veterans Week specials this year. Tonight we have a good one. We know we started out with Joe Malone on Sunday, and U.S. Navy officer Teresa Carpenter on Monday, David Willis yesterday from the United States Marine Corps, and tonight we bring the best service back in. Only one for this week with the best service, and he also served in the Big Red One the same time I did. He's a United States Army veteran. Served the Big Red One out of Germany, though, from 2002 to 2005. Got deployed to Tikrit, Iraq with them. Came home for a couple of years. Went to Fort Hood, I'm guessing, 1st Cavalry Division, 2005, 2008. Wound up in Mosul. And he also served with 1st Armored Division, 2009 to 2011. Also going back to Mosul. So he might have had some timeshare there as well. After his military service, he attended school, got a sports medicine and an associate's in sport, a BS in sports medicine and an associate's in sports medicine, and is graduate of the EBV UConn School of Business. He also serves as the president of Student Veterans of America at Kaiser University in Tampa, Florida. He is also a veteran treatment court mentor in Tampa, Florida. So without further ado, let's welcome U.S. Army veteran, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, JayR McIntyre. Welcome, JayR.
How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Good. It's always good to have a Big Red One brother on here with me, because if you want to be one, you want to be the Big Red One, right?
Definitely. You want to be in the Big Red One, the bro.
Yeah. Yes, I was at Fort Riley at the same time you were in Germany, though, so you got to see some better stuff in Germany than we did at Fort Riley.
Yeah, definitely. Germany was it was amazing too.
I'm sure it's a good experience for everyone to get overseas, and Germany's probably tickets to Europe right there, especially at the time you were there, is probably a lot cheaper, a lot more freedom of movement at that time as well.
Yeah, definitely. It was exciting at that age. I was 21, so going there straight from California. Yep.
Definitely in 2021, definitely from Long Beach to there, it's a way different world.
Oh man,
so JayR, tell us. I gave a little snippet about you there, about your military career, about some of your education now on the back end. Tell us a little bit about JayR before. Tell us from as far back as you want to go to how you got to the Army.
Man, I'm from California. I'm happy to be on this show. Veterans Day is this weekend, but Veterans Day for us is every day. We always salute the troops and military service and stuff like that. But the JayR before the military grew up in California, around a lot of crazy stuff, from Long Beach. So I saw a lot of gang violence, drugs. My mother, she died of AIDS, like I always tell people. And I wanted to get out the situation I was in, but I didn't know how. And my dad, he kept telling me, like, you're going to be special. You're going to be special. And I didn't know what he was talking about until he sent me off to the military. He tried to send me to the Navy twice, and I failed the test. And then I went into the Army. Yeah, then I went into the Army. Yeah.
So the Army wasn't your first choice. So, all right.
Well, it wasn't no choice at all for me, but my father wanted me to do Navy. But then after I got into the Army saved my life. So that was from 2002 when I joined, July 23rd.
All right. So long after 9/11, you raised your right hand. So that's a testament right there, too.
Well, I saw what happened. I was holding my daughter. Shout out to Jaden. She's 23 now, and in about a month she'll be 23. But I was holding her, and I saw the towers fall, and I was like, we got to do something about this. I wasn't patriotic at the time, but I was like, nah, this can't be happening where we live at, and what's going on. And I think it was like 8 or 9 months after that, I went to basic training, and then I was over there in Iraq in 2003.
Wow, yeah, so that's pretty quick. Yeah, quick turnaround. You guys got to Iraq probably, I'd say November, December is when the rest of the division started coming over, because we were already there.
Yeah,
you guys went north of us. We were in Ramadi. Yeah.
Okay, so I got a 177 went to Ramadi.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we need a little boostering there. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
So what was your MOS?
I was a 13 Fox, JFO, JTAG. We did a lot of the call up for fire and stuff like that. But that first tour, all of us was the same MOS, except if you worked in the office, all of us, because we drove from Kuwait to Iraq. So if people remember them chalks that was driving from, they flew us to Kuwait, and we stayed in Kuwait about 14 to 21 days, and we trained reflective fire. We did shoot houses. We did everything underneath the sun to train us to try to get ready to go over to stuff that we didn't know what was going on, but it got us ready. And then we drove in chalks from Kuwait all the way until Bob Summerall.
It's not a short ride either for those who
No,
are listening. It's not a short ride.
It was like 36 hours on like Route Tampa. We passed all these checkpoints, Baghdad and Anaconda, and all these places to get to where we had to go. And you know, it was crazy as a kid seeing that stuff. No doors, sandbags at our feet, and it was crazy just to see all that.
The ultimate protection thing there: sandbags or old Kevlar blankets at our feet and on our seats to protect us from everything.
Definitely, we was the original A-team.
We used to call it the ghetto armor we had on our Humvees there. We just found anything we could and welded to a Humvee and say, yeah, we're protected now. We're good.
Man, did you remember that with the metal and stuff? Like even sometimes we would make the Humvees off balance, but they would send us spare metal to attach to these Humvees and put the like a big pipe in the middle, and we would put our 249 on the back with a ratchet strap around us, and we turn the corner and we turn it. Yeah.
Yeah, my first mission in Ramadi, I stood in the back of a two-door Hummer, and I stood just like that with a ratchet strap, holding that and holding the 249, and just standing back there with no body armor because we didn't really have any at that time. We just had flak vests.
No chicken shield, no nothing.
I thought it was cool. I just thought it was a cool ride, and we had fun just going downtown.
But hey, if you look back, it's like, man, that was like you was playing with fire right there.
Yeah, I was throwing a lot of dice back then.
Right, definitely. Yep.
And I wasn't that great of a gambler, but I guess I made it. I guess I must have rolled some snake eyes or something, or deuces. I don't know what I did. I made it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you have 3 combat deployments, multiple years in the military. You got the tour Fort Hood. Looks like you went to 2 units on Fort Hood before it changed over to Cavazos now. And then what year did you get out?
Well, no. So that the cavalry division, we helped start and ramp that up in Fort Bliss. So that was the 4th Brigade. That was part of the Fort Hood division. Fort Bliss never had a combat brigade. We were the first of that strong knife village. It was called Long Knife, but we called it Strong Knife because we built it from the ground up. We would stand in the connexes. We would stand in the ones we used to the KBR gave us in Iraq. They brought it to Texas, and we were staying. That was our division, was the Connex. It wasn't built up like it was Biggsfield. It wasn't like it is right now.
Yes, it's like an oasis there now, and on Fort Bliss. That's all on what used to be just where the Sergeant Major's Academy was. Now it's everything is on that side of Fort Bliss now. So it's
that was 88 was on that side, but when they moved
Patriot.
88, they put us there and kept the Sergeant Major Academy, but expanded further back too.
Yeah, it's pretty big now, and then on where main post was, it's like it's still open, but it's like a city. So you have like every store possible, and there's a mall and stuff. It's a pretty set up there than most bases in the Army.
Definitely, it is. Yes, sir. Yep.
And did you get out from there?
Yeah. So from there, I did 2 more deployments, and then they sent me to Korea, and I did 2 years in Korea at Camp Casey. It was, I believe they send soldiers there to to die, but not physically, mentally. They sent me there for about 2 years. The first year, I was the 2-9. I was the 2-9 Forward Observer. Slipped my head. Sergeant First Class over there. But then after that first year, they started to transition and bring Sharp into the military structure, sexual assault response, all that. So my colonel put me in that class of Sharp. And then after that, the colonel of the Sharp program saw that I was a good speaker. So they moved me up to division to be the Sharp representative for the whole division. So I saw every personnel that was coming in that second year, and I would give them a brief, 15-minute to 30-minute brief before they even go to their units.
So you met them at the Turtle Farm. At that time,
Yeah.
was it at Camp Stanley or back at Casey at that time? Or at
No,
Casey?
it was Stanley. Yeah, Stanley.
Stanley.
Yeah. It was December,
Everything's
it was
uphill at
cold.
Stanley.
Yeah, it was real cold.
What year were you there?
Huh?
What year were you at Stanley?
11.
Oh, I just missed it. I was there 8 to 10. So,
8 to 10. Yeah, I was there 11. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, Stanley was
Yeah.
a different animal. So I did
Oh,
Casey,
yeah.
Stanley, Seoul, and Kunsan, my 4 destinations in Korea.
Really? Yeah,
They got
Korea
me
was
3 times.
it was very interesting in Korea. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. It's a fishbowl, so you can't really get away with anything. Everyone knows everything you're doing. You
Oh,
flush
yeah,
wrong, they know
definitely.
you did it, so they got you.
Yeah.
And someone's going to
In
tell
the
on you if you do
curfew.
something wrong.
In
Yeah.
the curfews too. So
Oh, yes.
yeah.
You had a little bill right outside of Stanley there. They waited for you to come in late, or
Yeah.
Mama San hit you. That's all I can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then now you're in Tampa, Florida. Are you still in Tampa?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Florida. Yeah, I'm in Sarasota actually, and
Okay.
I moved to Tampa, retired from the military in Fort Bliss, and I moved to Tampa in 2017 with no plan. And as a military veteran, trying to think what's the next move because I didn't say before I got out the military, medical retired. I had went through a couple of inpatients, and then when I got out, they sent me to another inpatient for about 50 something days in Tucson for my mental health and TBI and stuff like that to get me back right. It was like starting all over, because we were severely, we went through a lot. So if you heard me speak, 3 deployments, 1 Afghanistan, 2 as a MIT team, about 55 months in combat, trying to act like something is not like okay, but it was something was triggering, but we didn't know what it was because we wasn't taught that, right? So I had a couple of buddies that got out before me on mental health, and I heard the chatters of um, them being weak and everything like that, and I didn't get into it, but I saw what was going on. But when I started to take care of myself, I said the men were strong. They set the example for us to try to get our mental back. So I retired in Fort Bliss in 2015, and then I did all my inpatient. Then I did some outpatient, went through a bunch of therapy, and then I up and left to Tampa to start a new life.
There's a pretty good veteran community in the greater Tampa area too. So hopefully
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
able
a
to
lot
link
of
in with a bunch of
definitely. I left a bunch of good veterans in Texas, and then I
them.
met a bunch of good veterans in Florida. So
It's not, you can't go too far in Texas without running into a veteran of some conflict or our conflicts. There's
yeah, yeah,
tons in
definitely.
Texas.
Yeah,
Florida
yeah,
is the same way.
yeah. I heard that's one
So
and two. They're the 1 and 2 number 1 and 2 states that take care of veterans. Number really good. So
yeah, and that's why a lot when they get out of Hood or Bliss or San Antonio, Sam Houston, they'll stay there or
yeah,
stay in a greater area and try to get those
right,
GS jobs or contract jobs and just stay there, and because they
definitely,
all love it.
definitely. I did a little bit of contracting too. Once I got to Florida, I did about a year and a half, almost 2 years of contract. I went back to Afghanistan as a civilian security contracting. Saw that side, did whips one, learned a lot about a lot of that stuff. So
And then you got that taste and said, "I'm good. I'm going home."
yeah, because it's still they pay you pretty good, but still you away from home. But I think that if you still had that thirst for because our deployments was rapid deployments back to back, so getting out is like okay, a year is okay, but after 2 years go by, it's like we're not going back over there, So it's like your brain and your body still works in a different way. Like I need to get back over there, so I needed to get back over there and leave that stuff there.
Definitely leave that ghost behind you and
Yeah,
start moving forward with a positive life. And it,
definitely.
it seems like you've done that. You're Student Veterans of America, president at Kaiser University.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal because every year they look for new people to do that, and you were able to attain that at your school.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to be an example. And when I started school in 2017. I almost been in school almost 10 years because I'm going to continue with my doctorate. I graduate next year with my master's. So, and I got my master's, not to skip subjects, because I had failed in business, but I wanted to get my mind back. That's why I started school. And then it became addictive. Then it became consistency. how much I can show the veterans that, hey, we are more than just what you say we were over there, you know.
Right. RR posted here that you saved his life, put him in your home, taught him about mental health, got him to Wounded Warrior Care Network program, put him in college. Thanks to you, he's in medical school now. So I mean, that's an awesome tribute to you.
Yeah, that's my best friend. A shout out to Ranger Remy. We was in Korea together, but he's gonna be he's on his last leg of medical school. He's on his way to be a doctorate. We inspire each other, so we got a good niche of friends, and that we stay in touch and that we try to keep each other accountable.
Keep pumping each other up. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
I understand getting addicted to schooling too. So it took me until my last year in the military, 2015, to get my bachelor's. Okay. So 22 years in the Army, plus I did 3 years almost before I went in the Army. Right. I played college football, but all I was doing was really playing football and taking course here, a course there. And I went in active duty, and it took me 22 years to finish that bachelor's degree. So right before I retired, I finished my bachelor's. Now I've finished my master's after retiring, and I'm pursuing my doctorate now as well.
Congratulations. And I think that we all should at least try that, because you know, a lot of people view us as just hired help, or the tough, especially the ones that went to combat and understand they think that's all we good at. And I wanted to always show a different side of that, and remind people a lot of warriors are intelligent. That's why we warriors too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
exactly. We got the payment and we made it through there. So I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Phase Q just wrote is great. You're a great human. You have helped him a lot when he lived in Florida, and thanks to him, he got everything turned around. So another testimony.
That's one of my kids. I mentor. He's a great human being. He's going to be great when he grows up. He attached himself to me and myself to him when I was in Riverview. And shout out to Q. That's it, man. God has plans for him, but I try to be. This is who I am. I give back without no explanation. And shout out to Q.
Awesome. That's amazing. The testimony that's coming in for you just on the comment here. I can see you bowling. Your eyes are getting a little welled up there a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I don't see the death row medallion on you no more. So you got emotions now.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yes, sir.
And I've seen you were a mentor with a veteran treatment court too. How'd you get involved with that?
Well, I met a colonel that was pushing me through, and I didn't make it through all the levels because it was very extensive, because at the time I was starting my company. But that program right there is a very big program around the world. But Tampa has the #1 veterans treatment court, and it allows veterans to, once they get into trouble and criminal activities, to go through that process and try to get rehabilitated, because some of them go through a lot go through mental health, and before it's taken care of, they use other routes like alcohol, addictions and stuff like that. So this program was created for veterans that go through a hard time in the legal system. And shout out to the colonel that he was a ranger too, that started that program. And I seen the link. He's a very good dude, but they done helped over thousands of veterans in the Florida area, in the Tampa Bay greater area. And it's a good program too that helps veterans like just get through that system and navigate and try to get back on the right route.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to what they believe the veteran is too. And
right.
Here in Tennessee, they have it right here in Clark. I'm right outside of Fort Campbell here.
Okay.
And they do it. I think it's like a 5 or 6 month thing where they do the veteran treatment court here. And at the end, they have like a graduation where they do a presentation of each person as a testament to them and their journey from what happened to them, whatever happened to them to get them in that situation to where they are now. And it's awesome to see them grow in that process.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I give them my hats off to them. Even the ones that stay in it's a whole little program that they go through. I think it's like 13 weeks or probably 2 years that they go through that system, but it helps them. Even they come up with, they have ways that they can feed them and provide housing and other things for networking systems for these veterans. So it's an awesome program.
Definitely is. And
yeah,
I just hope that, I think it's supposed to be one time you're allowed to do that. So hopefully they all grow from it and don't fade back into the darkness and do the things they thought were helping them in the past because they got tripped up or something like that and can't get back into it, wind up in the system even worse.
Definitely. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
So you said you're a constant learner. what's your next big learning initiative?
So when I pivoted from failing at my security company that I started, it was very big. It was good. I pivoted to motivational speaking, and then I got my certification in speaking. But I've been speaking since I was little. My dad's a pastor, and then life coaching, and then my next big venture is um, going to school for my doctorate. So I'm done with my school in March or April, and then I take some time off. But I got to get my 2 letters ready for because they got to accept you into the doctorate programs, the DBA, the business administration. And I believe that I can make a change with that. And it's not so much for me, but it's so much for veterans that think that they can't improve. And then it's for my kids, so I can open up doors for them that I didn't have them doors. So it's like, okay, that whatever I'm putting on the table, they can pick up and use at any given time. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I started on January 2025. So, God has a lot of great plans for me, and I'm just staying true to who I am. And my gift is opening up doors for me that I couldn't open up. So I'm excited.
That's awesome, man. And you're also showing not just your children, but maybe your nieces and nephews or anyone else that's in your family younger that there is value to education as you move up. You don't need to just stop at either high school or quitting even in high school. You need to keep pushing and keep your brain moving, keep that muscle working as much as possible.
And I'm glad you touched on that because the brain is a muscle. And I think for like years, I think about for the last probably 20 years, 25 years, people have been preaching that education is nothing. And I think that's false. Um, that's a false rhetoric. I think that we always need to improve. And I think education is not about how smart you are, it's consistency, right? So I think to a point to where we got to get away from, oh, education ain't nothing. I can learn that from YouTube too. I try to make education look cool. Even looking from who I am, I don't look like the typical person that want to go for a doctorate or has a master's degree or associates or bachelors, all these certifications, but I make it look cool to let the kids know, especially the kids, that you can continue further your education, learn about it, talk about it, articulate your way, and then your rhetoric changes. Now your thought process has changed, right?
Definitely. And I always tell people I'm the anti-academic academic as I'm going for my doctorate because
Yeah.
I'm totally on the other side of what they believe, and my writing is always talked about. And I'm like, man,
Right.
this is me writing. I'm not writing for you. I'm writing what I believe this is. This is what I read, and it's what I'm regurgitating how it
Right.
is, not what you want it to say. So
Right.
my academics is different than yours, professor. And
Right.
it usually gets me in some hot water, but it works out at the end.
Right, definitely. And I love it too. It constantly pushes me. And then I have more to talk about when I'm on the stage and I can articulate my words better. And it flows like water. Like, so when you talk, I'm a motivational speaker. You got to have introduction, body, what I'm saying, thesis, all these things. But sometimes people are speaking and they're just speaking. And I think that it has to be always a soft skill and very calculated.
Definitely. And there's some people that they go up there with the same canned speech every time.
Right,
So they'll say the same thing every time they're on that stage, and sometimes they forget who they're talking to.
right. You got to know your
They'll
audience.
say, like it's like you see musicians when they on tour so much they thank you Detroit, but they're in Dallas.
Yeah. Right. It's
We had
brilliant.
a speaker here come to a veterans event, and he thanked the wrong nonprofit organization. He was there for one night. He's been on the road so much speaking that he just forgot where he was.
Right. And I believe too, like, it has to be a passion, right? Like, so if somebody invites you to do some type of speaking engagement, it's a tool for you to learn where you speaking, the location, and then your audience. So, like, I got invited to go speak at a suicide prevention for kids. You got to know the audience. You got to know it's delicate, right? So it's like trying foods at different restaurants. You got to understand where you about to go. You got to know your menu. You got to know your crowd. You got to know how to talk. And sometimes it's not good to talk a lot. Maybe show pictures, maybe engage the crowd, maybe ask questions, because maybe like if you get there, you got a whole speech, things will change.
Exactly. One question can change your whole speech.
Right.
One
Yep.
question can change the whole thing. And
Right.
that's when if you're a speaker and you're not just a fluff person,
Right.
you can pivot on that question and wind up with another 30-minute speech that you weren't even planning for. You just get it and do it. And
Right.
that shows
Exactly.
a testament to the speaker itself.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
RR jumped in again. He said, exactly. Show them that becoming a doctor, business owner, leader outside the military is possible. Leading by example so our kids can believe generational wellness, not just wealth. And that's heavy right there. Yeah.
That's Ranger Remy right there. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him do a bunch of awesome things. Him and our other best friend Josh, he was a awesome dude. Shout out to Josh. You know, he took his life in Colombia, and you know, we honor our veterans on Veterans Day and even Memorial Day. But Josh lives in our heart all the time, and he was a first sergeant on his way to be a sergeant major. Got out young, just like us, and when he got out, he just didn't have that. It was attacking him so much, but you know, we will continue to live through that situation. So shout out to First Sergeant Josh Brooks. You know,
definitely, and we lose a lot when they get out. They lose that sense of purpose, and they lose. Some of them it's title, some of it's the waking up in the morning and having something to do. I mean, I know when I got out, it was like running into a wall that first couple of days. What am I supposed to do with my hands? I don't know what I'm doing. It was like Talladega Nights. What do I do with my hands when I'm talking to you? I don't know, because I'm not knife handing someone. I'm not yelling at somebody. I'm not doing anything. And then you got to find your purpose and find, like for you, it's mentoring. It's helping others and showing and setting the example. Some others, it might be starting a fitness empire. It's something they have to have something that makes them tick. And if you don't have that, that's why we lose a lot of our brothers and sisters.
Well, I think too, in what's it called, ACAP, that we need to have guys like us, preferably if the military is listening, myself, to be there and speak on days and help these veterans before they transition out the military, understand who they are. Because a lot of us, when we got back from deployment, we carried our weapon 24/7, but when we got back and we was home for them 2 weeks, you'll wake up and start the trip like, where my weapon at? And I think that's the same concept. Like, okay, you're not getting up to go do PT. You're not leading troops no more. You're not engaged in situations. And a lot of these military veterans were top tier. So when they got out, nobody recognized them. You're not first sergeant this. You're not sergeant major this. You're not staff sergeant this. You're not ranger this. You're not SF. Who are you now? And I think that's what we need. It's a lot that I want to talk to these guys before transition, but you got to ask. That's the type of questions we asked them. What are you prepared to do now? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them led the way for years. And when I get out, they're not the captain of their ship no more. They go home to nothing. They go home to their family, but they have nobody to lead, right?
And there's no one to, if they're a high ranking officer, there's no one to drive them anymore. No one like that. They have to learn to drive again and take care of themselves. So you got to learn to have a first name and be part of a team and just try to find someone that makes you happy working. And I mean, I'm lucky I landed in a pretty good job now where I work with fellow veterans and we train soldiers. So we still get to act like we're in a locker room and do stupid stuff, but we have each other to bounce off of when we do have those little rocky days and stuff.
There you go. Build your little tribe, you know?
Yeah. You got to have your inner circle to make things happy.
Right.
So you keep reiterating that you failed in business. You didn't fail in business because you only would fail if you don't try.
Right.
Try. You had it going and it just didn't work. You mean if you failed, you wouldn't be here right now. You would have hid yourself away. And by getting back up and moving forward, it shows that you're not a failure. And I just wanted to let you know that because you kept saying that. I don't like hearing that, but it's like, well, Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You took a shot and you were doing well. It just wasn't the right thing for you at the time.
Right, definitely. Well, you know, we jump off the porch not knowing about business or entrepreneurship or as veterans how we're supposed to handle them situations. But and again too, I think that topic needs to come up in ACAP, how to transition. And if you're really going to start a business, how's your mental health? Make sure you keep that in check first, because when you get out in this entrepreneurship world, it's a cold world. You know, everybody might say, oh, we love you and we there for you. But when you go through them days where you have nobody, where is everybody? You know?
Where is this everybody we're talking about that's going to be in my circle?
Yeah, definitely. That's why you got to have a tribe. And I got a good group of gentlemen that we check in on each other, pray for each other, make sure we doing the right thing and keeping each other accountable. And I think that every military veteran should have their tribe. You know, I'm an introvert, but they pull it out of me to say, hey, JayR, where's our prayer for today? Or JayR, what's going on? Or, hey, this is what we got going on. So
they still need you to call fire for them. So they
need
you in there.
I know
all those targets in. You got to reach back into that 13 Foxma book and say, all right, we can go with these coordinates today and do this. And let's rock forward.
That was the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have your JFO book with you and do that stuff. So they understand, and they want you still to be there for them. So when they call into you, they know that you're going to send some good rounds down range for them.
Definitely. You got to. Yes, sir.
JR, if you could talk to say you're talking to a high school tomorrow, and you got to give them 3 bits of advice about what to do next if they're thinking about the military, what would you tell them?
Just make sure they stand up in their calling, that the military is for them, and also be assertive, right? Ask a lot of questions, understand what your purpose is. Don't ride nobody's coattail. Be an individual, because the military is made up of a bunch of leaders. It's not just one leader, right? We got the sergeant major of the Army, but we have a bunch of sergeant majors and a bunch of first sergeants and a bunch of sergeant first classes. So be yourself, knit your way through, and become part of the solution, right? So there's a lot of problems, but a lot of people have a lot of issues, but let's find a solution for situations. And I would tell that young man and that young man and that young woman, just, stay tuned. It's a lot of things that's happening right now, but I would say, hey, go in there, go get your education, learn a lot, because I've met so many people from around the world. The military is like a metropolitan. So a lot of my friends are not where I'm from, like Ranger Remy's from Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? So
Nice.
At the end of the day, I would have never met him if I never joined the military and know another person like me exists, right, in Puerto Rico. But that's him,
Right. It's good to have someone in Puerto Rico. Good beaches down there, good place to hang out. Not that you don't have bad beaches where you are right now, but you just got it's like a 2-hour flight for you from there, so it's good.
Yeah, definitely.
And another thing, I think the youngsters coming out of high school or even college that are thinking about joining the military as a next step, we need to explain to them that they don't have to stay with that first job choice.
Right.
They can change into something, see something else. Hey, maybe I should have done that because I didn't understand I was here, and jump into it. There's tons of jobs you can do in the military that can really help you on the other side of the fence when you're done.
Right.
And
just get in.
Something I think people told me. Yeah, just get your foot in.
Just get in, get your foot in, and then you could transition and find out what's best for you, right? Because maybe infantry coming in, or maybe human resources, or maybe truck drive, that's not for you. But once you get in and do your first couple of years and you want to re-enlist for something that you want to do now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Phase Q said there's a couple things: never give up on anything, and don't be a follower, be a leader, and work hard.
That's cute. Yeah.
I think you've mentored him a lot.
Yes, definitely. He's a good kid. Yeah. Awesome.
That's great stuff right there.
Yeah.
JayR, what's a book that you would recommend to people to read?
And if not, now when? And another book is The 5 Levels of Leadership. Learn that, understand that, because everybody says I'm a leader, but I don't think they understand the really concept of what that is. And you cannot go to Walmart and buy leadership. That's in you. You can't buy Walmart. You can't buy leadership or ambition at Walmart. You develop that leadership skill, that quality. And if you notice, when we was in the military, a lot of people were comfortable being specialists. They was E4 Mafia, but the ones that progressed, they was taking a step, right? So there's different levels for you and different leaders. Leadership is very scary, because what you say matters, and what you say can lead people to drink water or to drown.
I think Jocko Willing said it best: extreme ownership as a leader. Yeah, you make a decision, it can cause 3 people behind you to get hurt, or 3 people behind you to move forward. So whatever you do, it affects others. It's the trickle down effect, or the third level effect. So you have to have the extreme ownership.
Right. I tell people that all the time too. I said, it's a part of that golden era. I remember when my first tour to Iraq, and my leaders made us burn feces, right? So that stuck with me a lot, because they don't do that no more, and they stopped doing that after that, because KBR came in, and they you know what I'm saying, that was unsanitary. But back then we was burning our own poop, right? But that was the leaders in front of us saying, hey, you know what? You're private. This is your duty right here. You got to do that, right? So you got to take ownership. If I put you on the wire, you got to protect sector. If I put you over to burn feces, you got to. So you got to still take that toll and that leadership to do that, even though it's affecting you. Somebody got to get it done, right?
Right. And there's something when as a leader, I would never ask those I was charged with to do anything I wouldn't do. So I went on every patrol with them. I didn't say, hey, you go on patrol, I'm going to stay on the fob here in I'll have lunch for you when you get back. No, I was out every day. So
Right.
it was something I learned from my leaders as a young soldier.
Right.
You lead from the front and then come back and everyone hangs out together and you become a big family.
I think that's the best quality of leadership is not do as I say, but as I do, right? So I was that young leader because our wave was we were young E5 staff sergeant, sergeant first classes. So it was like, if I tell you to run 5 miles, I'm running with you. I'm not just telling you and I'm going to be here at the finish line. Nah, we're going to do land nav together. We're going to run together. We're going to do this PT together. We're going to learn our JFO. We're going to learn our call for fire. We're going to learn, all our weapon systems. We're going to learn terrain features, everything. So when we get out there, you trust me and I trust you, right? Because you've been around leaders who say, do as I say. But when you in combat, you know really who's the leader. You might see an E3 that's operating like he's an E7 because that's a real leader.
Running to the fire instead of hiding behind the truck. Yeah,
exactly.
I've seen it many times.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, we talked about books. We talked about 3 things to say. Favorite movie of all time?
Man, I got a lot, but I would say 2 favorite movies of all time, and it's Tombstone, right?
Okay.
And Malcolm X, the movie with Denzel Washington. He really played that movie. Like, look past the character and look to see how he played it. And then one more, Glory. Glory really stuck with me. It's just the whole movie overall, but just how the actors really perceived it, man. It was really big for me. And I was young. So I chose Glory when I was little. I chose Tombstone when I was little, and I chose Malcolm X when right after it came out. So
you got two Denzels in there, so that's good, right?
Oh
there.
yeah,
So
I love Denzel. Yeah, I love Denzel.
Yeah, he's a good one right there. And all right, now favorite song.
Favorite song. I'm a big Whitney Houston fan, and people know me. I'm a big Whitney. I love Whitney to death. I will always love you.
Nice, good song.
Yeah,
good song.
She make me cry when I hear her songs.
I don't want you to cry here.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. No.
So, JayR, how do I get in contact with you to maybe have you come and speak for them, or just to talk to you like we did tonight?
Oh man, you can contact me on the RS2G admin, and you can contact me on my Instagram, The Hood Motivator, and I can send you one of my capability statements, and you can put it out there for them and let them know. And also on LinkedIn too. LinkedIn, I have a big platform on LinkedIn, and I would love to come speak for a lot more of the military installations, which I'm lobbying for right now. I'm talking to a couple of sergeant majors. So I would love to do that, but that's how you can find me. And other than that, just stay tuned because 2024 is about to be a big year. I speak on everything from entrepreneurship to military to depression to suicide awareness to PTSD to combat deployments to improving the youth to education, academia, everything. So
awesome. Send me that the cut sheet so I can throw that into the audio version tonight before I publish it. That way everyone has your information. All right.
Yes,
JayR, thanks for taking some of your time tonight to hang out, and everyone on YouTube and on the streaming channels, thanks for jumping on. Don't forget to like and subscribe us on YouTube. The more you like and subscribe us, the bigger we grow and more veterans we can help out. So thank y'all for being here.
Definitely. Bye-bye.
Have a good night, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
For every veteran, there is a story about a calling to serve, to fight for the freedoms of the American people. And every story has a struggle, a sacrifice, and invisible wounds. Warrior Watts programs help veterans recover from PTSD and invisible wounds through exercise, nutrition, and connecting with other veteran leaders. It is estimated that 22 veterans die each day by suicide, and another 30 veterans die each day by substance abuse. These are preventable deaths. Warrior Watt is committed to fighting PTSD through fitness, nutrition, and community.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the MisFitNation. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all of our past episodes and get some of that great Misfit Nation gear. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.